For some strange reason, people will assume that because we recognize what's going on with R. Kelly, that we're out of touch with reality and what goes on in the real world. What's funny is that we are basically telling you that we see past the bullcrap, and that not only applies to R. Kelly, but the fact that they do it so boldly in our face should be a wake-up call for so many. I can't count the many people that have become infamous hashtags now that I spoke out against their injustice. From Kendrick Johnson to Alton Sterling to Eric Garner to Fidel Castro to Kanika Jenkins to it is so many people. Rodney Hess. I could go on and on. But the fact of the matter is, it didn't take people getting on a screen with these crocodile tears and telling me nobody cares about the brown-skinned Americans, because this is an unfortunate reality that I know oh so clearly. But anyways, the point in this video is very clear.
Facebook lied to you. Radio lied to you.
What I am going to prove is that most of these entertainers out here that got all these girls around them have been working for sex traffickers, giving their victims cover on tour buses, at shows, so that their new owners can come pick them up. See, it's all for the bag. Don't nobody give a fuck about the groupies. Puffy fly in a bunch of girls from out of the country, can't speak no English. Oh, look at all the exotic girls. Did anybody bother to ask how old they were? No, because they was the groupies, right? They there for the band. They there for the band. Put them on a tour bus, drive them halfway across the country, drop them off somewhere else, and don't nobody ask nothing. These victims have been in pictures. These victims have been in videos. Victims. But that's all right. Y'all keep buying their music. Keep making them rich. So who knows? Maybe one day they'll get your niece or your nephew. And then you can tell your niece and nephew that they tripping, that R. Kelly is innocent, that Clive Davis is innocent, that Sean Puffy Combs is innocent. Y'all niggas are stupid. You're stupid. You're stupid. We have a nationwide delusion problem. Delusional. To think that all of this lying and all of this manipulating doesn't materialize into real harm predicated upon innocent people. Like I said at the beginning of this campaign, my transparency campaign, the simple fact that women and young children and men and young men are being victimized for the purposes of money, while the world stands by and claps and applauds. It's disgusting. I don't know if y'all figured it out yet. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until I can tell a young woman that this is a safe business, that this is a good business, that she can win her Grammys without having to be raped, that she can go platinum without having to suck and fuck every nigga that her manager puts in front of her. Or young men, young gay men who have to pretend to be straight but getting fucked in the ass all day and night by their manager, like Chris Stokes. All of these surviving stories that y'all see happening, they are all going to converge. You want to know why? Because they're all working together, dummies. For the bag, right? For the bag.
Okay, so this is for whoever thought they was doing something by posting my story on the shade room and screenshotting it. Okay, first of all, I've always had a fucking phone, so I don't get where people think, oh my gosh, she has a phone, wow. No, I've always had a phone. Just because my parents put it out there that I don't have a phone, that's them. I don't talk to my parents. I'm not in communication with my parents, and I don't want to talk to my parents. I'm a grown-ass woman, 21, about to be 22. And if I don't want to talk to my parents, I don't have to talk to my parents. I don't have to talk to nobody in this fucking world if I don't want to. This is exactly why I don't post on social media, because people are going to say what they want. People are going to take whatever they want and turn it into whatever they want.
Like many others, when Jaguar Wright begins to lose her little bit of credibility she thinks she has, she'll begin to latch on to R. Kelly and the allegations swarming around him. And she's already mentioned before that some of his accusers are allegedly in her WCW little group. So it should be no surprise that now she's still beefing with Tasha K, of course, but she's latching on to Angelo Clary now that she wants to involve him in her bullshit beef. You see, because Tasha K has said she's going to expose the truth, of course, Jaguar has to twist it and make it seem like Tasha K is trying to incite people to attack and intimidate these accusers. Just like we've heard that narrative before, right? But the thing with Jaguar Wright is if you just go back and listen to everything she said about R. Kelly specifically, you will notice that her facts are a little bit off. She'll mix in a little bit of what she's heard, put her little spin on it, and you'll have a whole new story. Now, I'm not here to, again, discredit everything she says, because as I said from jump, there may be some truth in some of the things she says. But the fact that she is all over the place should be a big indication that her intentions come with malicious intent.
Like I said, I'm really trying to keep this as far away from me as possible because I do know James. Okay, how do you know James? I do know James. James used to hang out at my Aunt Patty's house. Before he was forced to have to, get paid. But already he would come up there and have parties at her house. And everybody knows Aunt Patty learned the kids. You know Aunt Patty look up? I didn't see, listen to me. I didn't see James at the golf course in Gladwin getting it in with underage boys. Oh, like, wow. That's normal. Huh? Oh, wow. You seen him at the park doing that? At the golf course in Gladwin. But you can't tell nobody that. Okay. That's the only reason why I said, oh, fuck, this shit is credible.
Watch this video as I demonstrate my point. Because even in that little clip you just heard, she mentions the fact that she, like many others, heard these allegations, but was more in tune with trying to have a successful career. So why are we being told we're stupid and this, and that? Because we, as the general public, only can hear what these people tell us. Meanwhile, we're supposed to just run with the things they tell us, while they tell us on the same foot that as long as things were going in their favor, they were fine with it. They would have probably never spoke out had their career elevated. But the fact that these people that tend to come out with these stories and latch on to exposing the industry, the fact that their whole mental stability is all over the place should raise red flags.
Military. No, they're not. What I do know is that the father is African and married the mother to come into the country on a green card, and they are...
Okay, are they American Indian heritage?
No, I said African.
Okay.
And the mother is
Do you know
black.
if anyone, let me ask you one more question. Do you know if anyone in the home's either recently or currently been sick related to fever?
Yes, I know that they have been in contact with people that were on the contact trace list and that were recovering from COVID. And this very woman showed signs of illness online. For whatever reason, she's upset. Yes, the mother.
Okay, so what is her name?
Her name is Latasha Tranisha Kibi. K as in kangaroo, E as in... Just die. Die. Bitch, die.
So I'm guessing we're supposed to look past our common sense and hear a woman on one hand talk about how she saw a child being abused to plant a false narrative, then turn around and say she never witnessed this. She comes out trying to expose the industry and says, on one hand, she was just trying to make sure her career popped, which is why she didn't say anything. But then on the other hand, we're stupid for not believing everything she says. Now let's be very clear. These type of people are toxic. And I want to give a very good example as to why I don't believe in this manipulation that they're trying to say. Jaguar Wright herself has allegedly been, as the rumor has it, the last thing she told her son that passed away was that he was dead to her. So it should be no surprise that she would latch on to a person like Angelo Clary, who basically put his daughter in this odd position to get a song, never mind rumors and allegations he claimed he's heard. And then the fact that she's praising Tokyo Tony for berating her daughter on Tasha K's platform just because she don't like Tasha K.
No, I like... But you take a dick in your mouth every other day, though, right? Yeah, a new dick. Your son see you fucking and sucking new dick all the time, bitch. No, that's facts, bitch. Every other month you got a new dick in your face.
Jaguar Wright.
But I'm the same bitch that looks out for you to make sure, you know what is good? Just know I'm good. Suck my dick, bitch. You're a disrespectful ass nothing asshole. Dirty. You're just disgusting. So know this, but I'm disgusted with you, bitch. Cause you know I'm gonna breathe. Knowing you're disgusting, motherfucker. I'm sorry I feel this way. I know I'm selfish, but the truth is too much. If y'all just laugh up, look at her reading them text messages and they sending her the questions. Just like they did with you. I want you to get some fucking help. Everybody knows it, Angie. You're not covering and hiding. You need some help, honey. You need some fucking mental help. You need some dirt. Uh-oh. You need some dirt. You're selfish, self-centered, a narcissist, a liar, habitual liar. You're such a fucking liar. Take me through that shit and then now rehash this shit all over again on a paper. How many years in your life you think I just do nothing for you? Wow! Ungrateful children. Wow. For real. Wow. If I could be all right, then you go, Angela. Uh-oh. Then you love your mom. So guess what? Have a great day. Have a great day. Get out of your life. Bye-bye. You are now dismissed. Bye. Hang up. I'm never calling you. Hang up. If you love me, show it. That's a weirdo.
This type of piss poor parenting is what gives people the impression to tolerate abusive situations rather than fend for themselves and go out and make their own living. Now, when you have this type of environment around you, it should be no surprise why you wouldn't want to deal with them, like Azriel mentioned. Let's go to that clip.
Your wife called me, my mother, saying, oh, there's a lot of rumors going around. I need you to call me every single day. I need to hear your voice every day. I need you to check in with me every day. I said, first of all, I haven't been doing that for these first couple years. So now that I'm an adult, I'm definitely not about to check in with you every day. And that's what started it all. Because of her pride and my pride.
So what did that have to do with me?
You're attached to her. That's your wife. That's your wife.
So I became the enemy. But you on the feud.
Because when I would talk to you, you would be young too.
No, because if you saying your beef was with your mother, then you said, oh,
I feel like it was with both of you guys because, like I said, both you and her, when I would call, it was nothing but arguments.
I was never present with you and your mother on the phone. I was never present with you and your mother. That's why I never knew when you and your mother talked. What I did was found out when your mother told me she talked to you and y'all argued or whatever, and I would call you. And you would have that same attitude you and her left with towards me.
Yes, I would.
Okay, but I didn't have anything to do with that. So therefore, give me a chance to pick what side I'm going to be on, who's right and wrong. You came at me aggressive because of you and her.
This is not it because I know your wife confides in you and I know she's going to explain it to you.
Exactly. But she's not going to give me everything, evidently.
So as you can see, the elephant still needs to be addressed.
But that's the thing.
Which will be addressed.
What I'm telling you is don't merge us like I never merged you. See, I could have been one of them parents that just felt victim.
At this particular point, I'm going to need Jaguar Wright to pick a motherfucking struggle. She over here talking about she's an advocate, even though I don't know what victim in their right mind would let somebody this crazy speak out on their behalf. She's sitting here talking about she's a victim, even though she's one of the most aggressive victims I've ever seen in my freaking life. And on the same foot, she's trying to sell this notion about this trafficking going on in the industry, even though, you know what, I'm not even going to get into that, considering America is built off trafficking and they're pretty much instilling upon our youth to pretty much sell themselves. So they really don't have to be trafficked anymore. They're basically selling themselves short of their full potential. But anyways, when I see people like Jaguar and all the things I've heard about her since she's come out, you have to wonder. We might have to treat her like Kim Fox did R. Kelly and get up on that podium and say something like this. If you have been a victim of Jaguar Wright, please come forward. We need your testimony. Without you, we cannot make anything happen. Considering we hear stories like this coming out.
Day one, it was like, you're blocked. My son is off limits, guys. He's off limits because she was saying things like, the dog is a spy. And she was dead serious. The dog next door. She was saying that that my son is the Messiah. He's the Messiah. She said he's the second coming of Christ, and you should bow down and worship him. She was dead serious, and Gerald was literally holding on to that with her. So I mean, as soon as they left, it was like, oh my gosh, these people are crazy. What are we gonna do? We gotta get rid of these people. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Like we started devising. Like, what are we gonna do? We tried to start coming up with plans. And I mean, things were just never the same, man. They were never the same. I was like, look, my son is off limits, so y'all please don't try to connect with my son. She was calling him nephew and stuff. I'm like, he's not your nephew. You know, I appreciate the whatever you got trying to give us. You're trying to give us a family, extended family, so to speak. But you know, It's creepy. I don't like the way that you're coming between my son and I. So I'd really appreciate it if you just leave him out of everything. The kids are off limits. I didn't want her to talk to my son from the gate. She was calling him downstairs and lying to him just to get him to come downstairs so she could talk to him. And he was, very considerate, very respectful. And she was like, no, you're too soft. You're too passive. You gotta man up. You a man. You a grown ass man. This is a grown man. Look at him.
When's the? I mean, outside of her saying that there needs to be secret tunnels, allegedly, because
Yes, an underground laboratory that Gerald and she wanted them to start building. Oh my gosh, and he knew it was just insane. But yeah, I told her, and I told her not, that he was off limits. I told Gerald to let your wife know my son is off limits. She would call and she'd say things. I'm like, yeah, I know, that's fine. You can talk to him through me, but you don't need to communicate with my son.
So if you haven't already, make sure you go and check out the Plainest Jane's video, in which she had a little panel in which the women from this group, Jaguar Wright, is so proud of, speaks out against her and her erratic behavior. And even one of the women talks about how she was sitting here giving her son CBD products to allegedly drug her. What kind of stuff is that? She on the internet talking all this stuff about people and their predatory behavior. Meanwhile, she's trying to turn a child against his mother, influence him to drug his mother, not to mention what else is going on. This is the type of stuff I speak on when you have to question these people coming out with these stories. Because at the end of the day, some of these people have their own motives, and their stories just don't add up, including Jaguar Wright.